Yo, what up guys, it's your boy Chris Leafly, welcome back to another video. And today we were breaking down the MVP Netflix card. It's 11 fights, which honestly I thought it was way less. This is going to be a really quick breakdown. Let me check how many of these are favorites, like heavy, like minus 500 favorites. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So the only two fights that are relatively competitive in the eyes of the odds maker is Morales versus Nakuda, Diaz Perry. Pretty much no underdog has a chance on this card besides those two fights. The rest of them are just give me wins. So there's not much to break down. Let's start off with the early fight of the evening. Chris Avila, who trains with Nate Diaz and pretty much is Nate Diaz 2.0, like a protege of Nate Diaz, versus Brendan Jenkins, who is a human highlight reel of getting KO'd. He got question mark KO'd in, where is it? This is not his UFC career, what? He fought Jakar, where is the Karate Combat? He got brutally knocked out in Karate Combat a couple months ago by a question marker. He fought Rongzu. What the fuck? Chris Avila is a boxer. He does much better in a boxing set, even though he's not the best boxer. He fights really similar to Nate Diaz. He has a good jab, good straight punches, high volume, high pressure, no power, decent jiu-jitsu. But he's a lot worse than Nate Diaz. He's 8-9. And I think Jenkins, both of them are cans, both of them are pretty low level. But I think Jenkins is better at being a can in MMA than Avila is. Avila is more of a boxer. Jenkins is more dynamic on the feet. He throws more volume. He can probably stuff the takedowns of Avila. That could become a problem. This is closer than the odds maker make. I'd give him like a minus 200, not a minus 300. But I think Jenkins is just the overall better fighter. I think he'll land more. I think his punches are gonna land a lot more significantly than Chris Avila. On the feet, I think it's night and day. I think Jenkins is gonna be able to use his low kicks, his kicking game, knees up the middle. Avila pretty much only has his boxing and a few slow leg kicks. I just think Jenkins wins this one by decision. Avila has proven to be durable. I mean, what is there to say about this fight, guys? Eileen Pereira. This is actually the sister of Alex Pereira. She's gonna win this one, probably by KO. She's pretty dominant in Karate Combat. She's 35 years old, which is pretty old. That's probably why she's not in the UFC. She's 2-2 in MMA. Not the highest level in MMA, but Jade has not fought in MMA in 6 years. She's a BKF fighter. And when she did fight in the MMA, she's 2-3 or 3-2. She's not good. She's not even that good at boxing. Eileen Pereira is just going to be able to kickbox her, keep range, use her kicks, hit her whenever she wants to because Jade has no head movement. This is an easy pick for Eileen Pereira by KO or decision. David Magunya versus Albert Morales. Albert Morales is a solid wrestler. Not a wrestler. He's a solid striker. He has power in his hands. He has some submissions. He's 40? I thought he was much older. He's a former UFC fighter. David Magoon, I thought he was gonna, be in the UFC by now. He fought Tommy McMillan in a crazy fight. He's pretty well-rounded. David has really good striking, elite wrestling. He can probably just chain wrestle Morales, find a submission. He doesn't have the greatest submission defense. Hold on, let's check his stats. Yeah, 4 submission losses. The low-level competition here. When was the last time he fought in the UFC? Holy shit, look at his UFC record. He's just pretty much an older can. He's 19-10. He's a decent striker, throws big power, throws high volume, but I think David is much more technical. He'll be able to keep it competitive on the feet, and I think Albert won't be able to stuff his takedowns. I think David has his way on the ground and pound. What I'm assuming is going to happen is he'll be landed ground and pound. Morales bucks him off, tries to get up, and probably gets caught in some type of submission. I'm going to go round 2 submission for this one. Let's check the biggest favorite. So he's the lowest favorite. Pretty sure, yeah. I mean, he had a competitive fight against Tommy McMillan, and people are considering Tommy McMillan to be a superstar. This fight completely mismatched. Jason Jackson's going to dominate this fight from start to finish. Jason Jackson is the only person to have defeated Yaroslav Amosov, who just fraud checked Joel Alvarez. His level of competition is a lot more. He's much more well-rounded. He has really good striking. While Jeff Crichton, I think he was on Tough Enough. Not Tough Enough, that's WWE. He was on Ultimate Fighter recently. Hold on, it's not showing, but I think he was. Yeah, Ultimate Fighter. That's where I watched this fight. He lost to the runner-up, and I don't think he has much to offer on the feet for Jason. And I think Jason has really, really good takedown defense. And Jeff kind of thrives on being able to take down his opponents. In the fight that I watched, he was able to get top control, find some submission attempts, land damaging ground and pound. And that's kind of how he cruised to a decision. But I don't think he will be able to take down Jason, because, I mean, Jason was stuffing takedowns on Yaroslav. He has high volume, maintains a high pace, pretty good cardio. He maintains for the entire fight. Solid straight punches, manages range very well. Very durable, very technical on the feet, doesn't make too many mistakes. Elite takedown defense, has grappling of his own, great control. Really good clinch game, pretty accurate. He's really well-rounded. While Jeff is pretty much, he does have a really good clinch game, good damaging knees up the middle, solid takedown defense, good scrambles, solid submissions, but he tends to lay on his back for a long time, loses decisions quite a bit of time. He mixes to the body well, but he really does want to he does have really good cardio. He does want to get his wrestling off, and I just don't think he'll be able to on Jason. I think Jason's going to piece him up on the feet. Jason tends to not hunt a finish, though. He's much more of a decision fighter. He likes to outpoint his opponents. He only gets TKOs when it's pretty much handed to him, or he just flatlines his opponent. He doesn't rush in and overextend and look for the finish. So I think Jason just wins a decision here. I think Crichton is definitely durable enough to win a decision here, or durable enough to survive to a decision. This is the only fight where there is not a minus 200 favorite, I believe. As I last checked, Puma Nakuda is a plus 154 underdog, and Adriano is a minus 160 or something. Adriano's just getting a lot of respect because he beat Mighty Mouse. He fluked the KO against Mighty Mouse. But we got to take into consideration 2-3 in his last 5. He got knocked out cold by Demetrius. Look at the names beside. Did he? Oh, no. He got revenged. I mean, he hasn't fought high-level competition besides Mighty Mouse, and he was getting beaten up on the feet before he knocked out Mighty Mouse. I think Adriano's talented. I really do. I'm surprised he never fought in the UFC. Really surprised by that fact. But I can't see him winning this. I mean, I can. There's a reason he's a favorite, but the way I think this fight's going to turn out is Uh, the relentless pressure of Puma is going to be too much for Malice. Adriano loves to stay out of range, counter strike his opponents, get his wrestling off. He's elite on the ground. He has crazy jiu-jitsu, very talented. Submissions off his back, submissions on top, really good back take. He uses his reach and his size to his advantage very well. Dangerous clinch game. He uses his striking to set up his grappling. Elite footwork, elite control time. But he's low volume on the feet. He's overly patient on the feet. He can't strike with the best of them. He really relies on his grappling. He doesn't have the best cardio. He struggles against explosive, athletic opponents. And he rarely goes first when he's on the feet. He's also 37 years old, on a skid. He has high-level defense. I mean, he doesn't leave a lot of counters on the feet, because he doesn't throw much on the feet. He has great submission game. But Nakuda's very athletic. Nakuda's actually has had several pro wrestling matches, which I found out while doing tape for this. I didn't know who Puma was, but he's quickly become, someone I'm really rooting for here. Because, he's actually a favorite on this one. Damn. I know he's not a betting favorite, but I'm surprised I'm surprised Tapology, the people who are voting, have him as a favorite. Nakuda does what he does very well. He trains with Aljo, and he trains with Marab, and he has that kind of style. Very good wrestling, insane cardio, lockdown jiu-jitsu, relentless pressure, constantly on the front foot. He maintains a high pace for all 5 rounds, high volume, beautiful jab. He mixes up on the feet well. He switches stances very well. He's integrated striking and grappling very well. He level changes very fast. He's very fast. Was a primary wrestler, and he's adapted his game to become a striker or become a wrestler who has decent stand-up. Very impressive, but he has great control. Once he takes you down, it's incredibly hard to get back up. I think Nakuda will be able to put a pace on Marias. I think on the feet, I think Nakuda's going to be able to piece him up. In the boxing, I think he'll get in the pocket. He'll land some big punches. He's pretty short for the weight class. Yeah, he's 3 inches shorter, 5-inch reach advantage, or a disadvantage. He should be a flyweight, but since there is not really a flyweight division, he'll be fighting at... Is this a flyweight fight? Hold on. No, 130. It's a bantamweight fight. He should be fighting at flyweight, but obviously there is no flyweight division. He'd be fighting at bantamweight, so he does have a size disadvantage. He's very physically strong, very physical, and I just think the pressure of Nakuda is going to give Marias a lot of problems. And I think he's going to struggle with it, and on the feet, I think Nakuda will be able to kind of win most of the engagements with just his volume and his forward pressure. And I think he'll be able to take down Marias and stay safe enough on the ground to where the submission threat is nullified. And I think Nakuda wins this one by decision. This one is the only pick'em on this card. The rest of them are very quick, who cares type of fights. Namo Fazil versus Jake Babian. Jake Babian cannot strike to save his fucking life. He's 6-1. Almost all of his fights are coming from submission or ground and pound on the ground. He can't strike to save his life. Almost all of his fights have ended in the first round. Yeah, round 1, round 2, round 1. Yeah, he's untested cardio. He has really good wrestling. He does not give up on takedowns. That's a good thing. He has good ground transitions. He's dangerous from the bottom and on the top. He latches up submissions quickly. Has pretty good submissions, but on the feet, Like, he wings overhands, very hittable, overswings on almost every punch. He only strikes to set up his grappling. Namo is a slick, brawly striker, good takedown defense, has offensive wrestling of his own, powerful, good cardio, will push a pace, get in the... he does need to get in... He needs to get in close because of his short reach. This is a competitive fight. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think this is probably going to go to a decision or a late rounds TKO for Namo. I am taking Namo to win, obviously, but I think Jake isn't that bad. I think he'll be able to find some wrestling success. But overall, I just think Namo's the much more talented fighter. I think he has more avenues of winning. He's no slouch on the ground, and he's a pretty high-level striker. He could probably be in the UFC right now. He has good boxing. He gets hit quite a bit, but he has a really solid chin. And, he has power. See, rear naked choke. He goes 5 rounds. He's gone the distance. I lean the experience of Namo in long, drawn-out fights, rather than Jake, who's only been in the second round one time, untested, really hasn't faced any adversity. I'm definitely leaning Namo to win by KO. On to the main card. Robles Despain making his MMA debut, or MMA return after 2 straight WrestleFuck decisions. Junior Dos Santos is on a 5-fight losing streak, 42 years of age. I see a lot of people saying there's value on Junior Dos Santos. I don't think Junior has never shown that he's gonna wrestle-fuck someone for 15 minutes. He's never shown that. He loves to strike. And I think he's going to strike with Despain here, and I think he's going to get himself knocked out in round 1 or 2. He's 42 years old. He's very clearly declining. He's taken so much damage over his career. He is a former UFC champion, obviously. He has very talented striking ability. He does have some wrestling ability, but he will always strike first. And I think if you give Despain enough time on the feet, he will find that knockout, especially against someone who's much, much slower. The height difference is staggering 3 inches, 7-inch reach advantage. I think Despain knocks out Junior Dos Santos. If this was prime for prime here, I take Dos Santos to dominate him. But he's 42 years old. He's not going to run a wrestling clinic on Despain. And even if he tries to take down Despain, I think the size and just sheer strength of Despain will be enough to kind of deter Santos. I think we see Santos shell up here. I think he shells up, and I think he loses by KO here. Despain is just too talented on the feet. Yes, he has horrendous takedown defense. He can't get up to save his life. But again, I just do not see Junior Dos Santos running a wrestling clinic on him. And he hasn't fought in MMA in 3 years. His chin is not there anymore. The big boy is going to get another win. Despain's been much more active. He's much more talented on the feet. As of now, I think Despain gets the easy knockout. I don't get why people are picking Dos Santos. Saladin Parnassi. Saladin, I'm just gonna call him Saladin, versus Kenneth Gross. Kenneth is a fun fighter.
Are you absolutely positive, man?
He is fun to watch. He's a fun personality, but he's being fed to the wolves here. He's a sacrificial lamb. He's well-rounded. He's pretty fast. He's pretty bouncy. Well-rounded. He has good submissions off his back and from the top position. Good scrambles, good takedown defense. Well, no, actually, he has pretty poor takedown defense. Explosive, good leg kicks. Pretty good striker. But he's very wild. He gets hit quite a bit. He uses his speed and his explosiveness to land. But he can get taken down. His competition is terrible. He has terrible submission defense. All 4 of his losses are by submission. He uses a lot of energy on the feet for no reason with his footwork. He's a very bouncy. He can get held down for long durations. He's pretty hittable. He doesn't really try and get up. He just tries to throw up submissions from bottom, which I hate. And whenever he's taken down, he tries to go for a Kimura, which never lands and always puts him in a terrible position. Where Saladin is UFC level. He could probably be a top 15 ranked lightweight in the world right now. He's incredibly... is he a lightweight? I thought he was a featherweight. He fought Robert McCullough, right? In one of his most recent fights. Hold on. He's a lightweight. Oh, okay, I was wrong. But he fought Robert McCullough, and he actually finished Robert McCullough, which is impressive. Robert McCullough is in the UFC now. He lost to William Gomez, arguably a decision that could have gone his way. He lost to Jose Delgado. Jose Delano could have gone his way. He's a very talented fighter. Parnassi is incredibly technical. He's very patient, great timing, uses all of his weapons very well. Crispy kicks, clean, slick punches. He mixes it up very well. Great body head combos. He maintains distance very well. He targets the legs and the bodies very often with his kicks. Really good counter striker. And really good cardio. He can maintain a high pace for all 5 rounds. You never really see this dude fatigued. And his grappling is just another level too. He has great transitions on the ground, great takedown defense, great control, really clean takedowns. He blends his entire game together very well. Solid clinch work, elite submissions, and I think he finds a submission on Cross here. Cross tends to give up submission attempts while trying to get back up. And I think while he gets back up, I think Saladin could find a Darth choke, a rear naked choke, some type of submission on Kenneth. I think this is kind of like a coming out party for Saladin. And I think we could see him in the UFC within the next 2 years. Moving on. Gang, there's nothing to break down here. Francis Ngannou's gonna fucking put Felipe Lins on a t-shirt. Like, there's nothing really to say. He's 40 years old. Yes, they're around the same age, but he's going to get put on a t-shirt. But Lins is a, I'm not even going to break this down, guys. Francis Ngannou is going to put Felipe Lins on a t-shirt in the first round. Now on to a fight where I'm picking the underdog for the second time on this card. Nate Diaz versus Platinum Mike Perry. I think people are overrating Mike Perry. I'm going with Nate Diaz. A minus 200 favorite. I don't think it should be that. I think it should probably be a pick'em. 1-4. His only win in the UFC, or his only win in the last 5 years in MMA, is against Mickey Gall. I don't think Mike Perry's been training MMA. I think he's been training bare knuckle for way too long. Yes, Mike Perry has the youth advantage, the speed advantage, the power advantage. But people are underrating Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz has elite cardio, which we know Mike Perry gasses. His grappling is phenomenal. His jiu-jitsu is next level, really clean submissions. And he throws incredible volume. He puts so much pressure on his opponents. He has good counter strikes. He thrives as the rounds go. He's been taking punches for so long, his chin is not going to crack due to Mike Perry. He's very durable. He's only been knocked out one time. Iron chin. He builds into a fight. He constantly moves forwards. He will mix in the wrestling. Very good in the pocket. Effective clinch work. The wrestling, I think the striking is pretty even. I think Mike Perry misses a lot of punches. He throws everything with 100% power, but he overswings a lot. I think Nate Diaz will be able to walk Mike Perry down, kind of. After the first round, I think Mike Perry's going to definitely win the first round, but I think Nate Diaz builds into the fight. I think his accuracy gives Mike Perry problems. I think Nate Diaz could take down Mike Perry, and if Nate Diaz takes down Mike Perry, I think it's very possible that we find a Nate Diaz submission. Because Mike Perry has always struggled with wrestlers. I think Nate Diaz's submission game, well, that's the one thing that's never going to fade. He's a phenomenal wrestler, and I think he stays a phenomenal wrestler. And I think he finds a submission here. I doubt Mike Perry chins him. I think this goes to decision. And I think Nate Diaz wins from volume, control time. And I just think he's much more experienced in the UFC. I mean, he has a better record in his last 5, and look at the competition. McGregor, what is his name? Anthony. I know the fighter. Like I know his Petias. Pettis. Oh my God, I was blanking. Pettis. Jesus. Jorge, Leon, and Tony. I mean, I think all 5 of these people beat Mike Perry in the UFC. I'm going Nate Diaz by submission. I think he's a crafter. I think he squeezes out a victory here. And I think Mike Perry will return to BKFC. I don't think he's meant for the MMA world. If this was boxing, Mike Perry wins, obviously. And it's 5 rounds? I thought it was 3 rounds. All of these are 5 rounds? Goddamn. Yeah, this one's not going fucking 5 rounds. I think Nate Diaz cruises to a decision here. And there's nothing to say here, guys. Ronda Rousey's just gonna fucking maul Gina Carano. Yes, we're not gonna see the 2011 version of Ronda Rousey, obviously. But Gina Carano hasn't had an MMA fight in 17 fucking years. She has notoriously been, if you watch any of her fights, struggles against grapplers. Ronda Rousey, one of the best female grapplers we've ever seen. Fantastic submissions. Yes, obviously she hasn't fought in 9 years. She's 39 years old. She definitely has the youth advantage here. Gina Carano's 44. I think we see Ronda Rousey kind of stink it up in the first round. I think she controls her on the fence. I do think this is going to get to probably the 3rd round. Because I think Ronda's not going to... I don't think she has the explosiveness she once had. But I think the striking is going to be even in their prime. I would give it to Gina Carano, but they're both pretty rusty. I think the boxing is going to be kind of relative. And I think Ronda Rousey's eventually going to get in the clinch, throw Gina down, use her strength, and find the armbar submission. Pretty hard card to make any money on if you are betting on this. I'm definitely not going to bet on this. There's no reason to. The only bet that is worth taking is the Nakuda one, and probably the Nate Diaz one. But other than that, you'd have to pick like method of victory, which is always risky in these types of fights. If you guys disagree with my picks, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.